Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Empowering Single Mothers. I'm your host, Liza Magcale from Toronto, Canada, and this is my lovely, beautiful, bright co-host, Wendy Bluhm from California. I am looking at her and she looks fabulous. What is going on with you over there? All this is going on. What's going on?
So a couple of my girlfriends and I did a cleanse together, and it's called a Cambiati Cleanse, and it's pretty intense, and it was amazing. So I lost 16 pounds in 28 days. So it was pretty awesome. Very, very happy.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Maybe we can put a link to that in the description in case anybody wants to know. You want to talk a little
Sure.
bit about the benefits other than like this that I'm seeing, the beauties?
Well, I mean, it just helps you be really mindful about what you're putting into your body, why you're putting it into your body, and making, different choices. And it's clean eating. And there's elements, obviously, I just said it's a cleanse. There's elements of it that are, where you're detoxing. And so detoxing is always a good thing, whether it's emotional or physical. So anyway, it was just a really great experience, and I chose to do it with two of my best friends, and that was amazing because we went through the same things at the same time, pretty much. We had the complaints together. When we were feeling weak, we could like reach out to each other. When we were feeling strong, we could celebrate together. So it was fabulous. I highly recommend doing something for your body, your mind, your soul, and doing it with someone else that you like and care about.
I love it. What you didn't know is that also like Thursday to Monday or Friday to Monday, I also did the same thing. So not as drastic because it sounds like you've been on this for like 5 weeks almost.
So it was 28 days.
28 days,
Yeah,
4 weeks.
28 days. Yeah. And it starts out where you're like getting your body used to not having the bad stuff. And then you go from like 1 shake a day to 2 shakes a day to 3 shakes a day. And then you go back down, and then you're supposed to start introducing foods back into your world, and just seeing how your body reacts to them. So really, it helps you also understand allergies that you didn't know that your body had. So now, if I remember correctly, yours was like liquid water or something. Is that right? Like,
Oh,
or is that a different thing?
no, that was a different thing that I did where I was just
Oh,
like
you did the
water
Tony
fast.
Robbins. You did the
Yeah.
Tony Robbins thing. Oh, tell me, tell me, tell me.
Yeah, no, it was good. I mean, I definitely will keep certain parts of it because I noticed a difference right away to food sensitivities when I kind of went back to regular eating. And so,
Hmm.
some of the things there were lemon water, celery juice. If you don't have celery juice, it's like a lemon, honey, ginger. So these were things that I had already done in the past, but I think the combination of smoothies, because I had not done smoothies in a long time. As you know, I was like on a different program. So it was really good. And like you, I had done it with a couple of people. So one in particular that I was already tied to every day or every weekday at least. So just going through that whole experience was really lovely. And I hit my goal. I did it, and now I'm gonna go to the next step. So we were
Nice.
talking about what we were going to talk about today, and one of the benefits of doing these types of things is really recognizing where you're stuck. And we really wanted to talk today about getting unstuck. So,
Yeah.
where were you stuck? What did you do? Like, what do you do when you're stuck? So, I mean, that so many things can come up in this topic. So I'm excited. Stay tuned and hang on.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Well, that's, it's the funniest thing. I think in the past 5 years and all the growth that I've um, saw myself through, um, I've really just said to myself multiple times, what did I do to get myself away from that moment that felt like I couldn't do it anymore. I was like ready to give up. Not that I was really ready to give up. Um, what do you do in those moments where you really feel like you're paralyzed? You have no idea how to get the kids to finish their schoolwork, get the money in the bank that you need, feed yourself, you know, show up in relationships the way that you want to. Like there's so many things pulling at you as a single mom or as a person. And it's like, how do you stop and say to yourself, okay, one, this is temporary. And temporary can have a lot of different time frames.
Don't we know
um,
it?
and two, how do you look at a situation that feels so overwhelming, like you really just you don't know how you're going to get away from it, and if you allow yourself to sit there and think about how hard it is, it just feels like it gets worse. Like you don't feel like that helps any.
Right.
So how do you look at a situation that seems like you're stuck, and say to yourself, all right, this isn't what I want, and there has to be something I can do to move away from this. And which way do I want to go? Do I want to go back and into a depression, or do I want to go forward and go closer to the life that I want to be living? And I think that's, again, it's really hard because when I attempt to look back at what I've done, I'm like, what was it? What was it? What was that one thing that I did that like put the momentum in, in motion? What was it? And so this last stuck period that I had, which was super, super hard, I had a person who was verbally and just verbally attacking me in business, and it was a lot for me because it just I was allowing it to impact my worth, which of course has nothing to do with my worth. And then I had all these responsibilities with the kids that I felt like I was falling short on. And then their storm came, and I had to get evacuated from my house. And, like it just felt like everything. It's like, what is going on? What did I do? What who has the what is it called? The voodoo doll? Who's messing with me right now? And I just wanted to like I wanted to check out. I was like, how do I check out from this? Like, and 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 again, I looked at it and I was like, okay, there's got to be something I can do to just like step away from this stuck feeling and latch on to that other not stuck feeling and then pull myself from there. Like get myself out of this. And I definitely am not somebody that would naturally want to climb a rope at a gym. No, that seems like way too much work. Figuratively though, I want to pull myself out of a stuck spot and go somewhere else. Um and so for me, I think that's what I did. I just literally was just like, I'm not going to let this person ruin my self worth or impact my business in a negative way. And then I said, for I also stopped. I'm on this cleanse, and I stopped doing this exercise. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get on the bike. I'm going to enjoy this shake that I'm drinking and really think about what I'm doing for my body. I'm going to hang out with my kids and do something with them and laugh with them. And so then I took my focus off of this, emotional battery that I was getting. And so once I was able to separate myself from that and focus on some of the good stuff, then I shifted enough to where I could, in retrospect, look back at my situation and say, okay, what's really happening? What am I learning? What do I want to do different? How do I want to not allow these types of behaviors to affect me in the future? And so now here I am in this place where when I get the attacks, I'm like, interesting. And I can choose to respond to it differently. It's still something that triggers me. It's
Right.
just what I'm doing about the trigger that I've been able to shift. And so I think that's for me what I want to remind myself when I start to feel stuck is to say, okay, I feel this and I'm not staying here. And how quickly can I unstuck myself?
I love it. I have two things that you do tactically. Just to
Okay.
recap, is like you're gonna find ways to feel good.
Yes.
right? And number two, it's then you ask yourself, like, you look back and go, like, what's next?
Yep.
So I know I've definitely used the concept of like feel good right now. Like this is not helping me. This is not serving me. This is like not what I want. And nowadays, this typically happens to me when I'm in a battle with my daughter, like
Hmm.
in a whatever kind of battle it might be. It could be hormonal, it could be whatever it is. Um, and it's happening less and less because my question to myself is, what do I want here? Like what do I want? Right? So I want to have a good relationship with her. And if I lead with that, like, hey, I want to have a good relationship with you, this is not helping.
Right.
Right. So if I lead with what I want and it's coming
Hmm.
from like a heart-centered place, and I just put
Exactly.
it out there, then you're going to likely come at me with, well, what do you want? And what is it going to
Hmm.
take for me to get what I want? Right. And what I
Right.
want
Yep.
actually benefits both of us. And so even though mine still is outward focused, it comes from an inward desire of having a good relationship with her. Um,
Hmm.
that's probably been the best tool for me to move, to
Yeah.
shift from like this unstuck, because I know what unstuck looks like and I know what it feels like, right? It's just like like, and we're not getting anywhere, right?
Hmm.
And the halt for me is like, well, this is what I want, right? So that declaration, that ask, right?
Yeah.
Like that intention, it has really gotten clear. And I think when people are stuck, it's like they're just focused on whatever the storm. They're
Yeah.
focused on all the moving parts instead of it's like, okay, it's still gonna be happening, right? Like the storm is gonna happen, whatever else, like people are coming at you. It's all outside of yourself. So internally, what is it that you want? And then it's
Yeah.
like, then you can look at it and go, okay, how am I going to show up so that that's not gonna look like that anymore?
You said something a few minutes ago that I really wanted to hone in on and even do it for myself. I was thinking for an audience, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, you're supposed to learn from the things that come out of your mouth."
Mhm.
Um, so you said the feel good, and I am definitely I'm guilty of the feel good. Um, so I I recognize I don't have a healthy list for feel good. Like I think making a list of the things I want to do for myself when I need to feel good. Um, I'll just I'll be super vulnerable here. So like maybe I'm addicted to talking to men, and the energy that I get from talking to men, is that necessarily the best way to fill my time? Probably not. Maybe I could read a book. Maybe I could get on my bike. Maybe I could do something that's healthier for me than to have arbitrary, I mean, human connection's good. But I'm just
You're
like,
good at that though. I will say she's a great conversationalist with men. She knows how to make men feel like really, really good. And like I've seen you. I've seen your energy like when you're in that space.
yeah.
Um where like
Well,
I'm
it feels
totally
really
dry.
good. Yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
I'm like completely the opposite. So when I watch you in action, I'm like, dang. Um However, I do know what you mean where it's like I genuinely want to feel good. It's not like a distraction. It's not external. It's
Right.
feeding into myself. So for me,
Hmm.
that looks like rolling my foot on top of a ball, or just like lying there for a minute and stretching, or like genuinely at the cellular level
Right.
feeling good.
Yeah. And so
So
where I
I,
went when I heard you say that was there are some things that we could do to feel good that maybe are not good for us. And so like I know there's some alcohol makes you feel good. Some people have some what is that called? Drugs.
self-medicate,
Yes, some kind of drugs.
self-medicate, or
Um,
food.
yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. My two guilty pleasures are food and coffee. And so like right here, that is one of my feel goods. And it's not necessarily the best thing for me. It's a less damaging uh feel
Substance.
good than, yeah, than alcohol. And so I'm grateful that I have that choice. I've kind of kicked diet sodas out of my life. That was another one that I had. Um, so I feel like there are some things that I could really benefit from by writing them down. And when I'm in those places that aren't feeling great, I could say, all right, I'm going to go look at my list and pick one of these things and do them for however many minutes or whatever it is. So I think that might be something I want, is my healthy feel good list versus doing just what's like going and grabbing a slice of cheese from the fridge or
Yeah.
you
No,
know.
that is actually one of life hacks that like top leaders use is they
Hmm,
actually have a list, and so they're never
look
going
at
to get
that.
caught. So I just want to acknowledge it. That actually is a tool that people do. So this is what I heard you say: read a book, get on your bike,
Play with the
like
kids.
play with the kid, like jump on the trampoline, maybe like just
Yeah, I have that.
you know, you do. It's actually quite healthy for your lymphatic system too, to like do the drainage every day. So I think that that's like a beautiful thing to get unstuck. So if you didn't hear, make a list of things that are going to feel good so that when you get stuck, you'll look at your list to transition into feeling good. The other one is like, ask yourself, what do you really want here? Like, because no one wants
Yeah.
to be stuck. So instead of focus
Mm-mm.
on being stuck, what do you want? Do you want to be happy? Do you want to be healthy? Do you want to be like liberated? Like, and then take your attention there. I really like how you were doing this. Like it really gave me, so for those
It's
of
just
you who are
now.
listening, it's like she is like pulling herself up on one of those gym ropes that are hanging. And for me, it's not that. For me, it's like I'm here, but I want to be over there. Like, and I'm pointing
Hmm.
outside of myself because when I'm in here and I'm in that space, like I don't want to be, I actually want to be outside of where I currently am. So same
I want
thing,
to.
different. Mhm.
Yeah, and with those visuals, like I'm thinking to myself, when you said you're here and you want to be over there, I'm like, are you going to crawl there? Like, what do you? How are you going to get there? That's what my mind went to.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm going to catapult. Are you
Yeah.
kidding? I'm sitting in something and something's going to shoot me over there. That's you.
Yeah, yeah, or I'm gonna transport over there. Like, I'm just like snap my
You're a
finger and I'm
teleporter.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm done. Like, I'm
And
gonna light year my way over like Captain, what's her name? Marvel, like just raise my hand and go.
then me, when I was doing this, even when I did it on, just a few minutes ago, I was just like, all I have to do is get up 10 inches. I only have to move my arms a little bit to get to where I can get my feet back on the ground
Right.
versus feeling like I have to climb all the way to the top of that rope, like all I need to do is just get a little bit out of where I'm at. And so just if that's all I have to do for myself,
Right.
it's a little easier to think about.
Well, you and I also understand that action is like the generator, right? So it's
Oh
like
yeah.
the thought and then the action actually creates
Yeah.
the whole thing, right? So
Right.
I think those are really, really good takeaways. So
Yeah.
I'm ready to wrap. What about you?
Yeah, that sounds great.
I love it. Thanks for joining us again. Like
Yeah.
today, we were talking about getting unstuck, some really, really tangible things to do when you're in that space, regardless of all the things that are happening around you. And again, Wendy, that was like feel good. So make a list of things that are going to make you feel good so that when it happens, you know where to look to start to get yourself out of that. I think
Right.
anyone can benefit this. Like empowering single mothers is our thing, but anyone can really glean
For
something from
sure.
this. And then the
Absolutely.
second is ask the question like, what do you want?
Always.
Right? Like, what is it that you want, and go there. Like, however,
Yeah.
if it's like climbing up or if it's like transporting over or teleporting, make it happen. And with that, we're hoping that you are empowered today as a single mother. So I again thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Liza Magcale. This is Wendy Bluhm.
Hi. Bye.
Bye. Have a great day.
You